Jumedia Ben Odi. Me person me busa question.
Oba pe bompaye every Saturday. Yeah conference on two muda.
He say.
Oh no.
Hey, asante boa.
Mr. Make with them
Kukua.
Mamen count.
I was just man ya o ta tutum.
Me say.
Ate ya Grace.
Oh say.
Oba na ye to wan bi aje se nkrofo na to wan ma.
Hey, any mo ji akra mu.
Yeah dey.
Mo ji akra.
Yeah, ji akra. Ya Grace ka on ti.
Yeah, be me ne papa wa timbo kunsi.
Hey, they say no money di kra.
Say em nwa.
Azade, o de atena o bedu heaven ho no. Na me gina inside there patch o ma o. Se me sremu a mo go da. Azade bo ma me. No ama. Wa ma me dinka. Hey. Me na me patch o inside no ama o.
Na me tin sem bia.
Itina wo tin
sem na o ti ase.
Say o ta man back pass. O fudi so do.
Back pass say.
Akunta yi afre na me libertarian
time am free ya bo ma friend akunta no na na de dey
azate
say maintain my economy o
any brebi no Saturday say ayi Saturday kwahwefo enti ya okwa sorry
we sabat
mitimi ko ugera kwa mitimi ko
adwuma enya hwe enti ya na enti wase
bi be si daku bi na bia wanwade bi asi
Saturday we cow bank mani beje wo dey say wo pon sorry out there for
be so omo what's up for man omo
ade why dey
hey omo si me how
oh asafo baby amo libertarians they love you more than anything.
Me.
Oh yes.
No.
Oh they love you.
Na me yaba betra ko nyama ko so aso dem mo.
Ada yaba ma fata so no betra ko nyama ko so dem. Eh yes be kre.
Me bisa o. Say aso kunyara se mete be no.
I tell you
our puppet wo.
Oh yeah. I say over try check be morning show. All right, good morning to you, wonderful people of Kumasi, Asante, Ghana, and across the globe. This is Owia Ade Kyeɛ coming to you live from Kumasi Sports Stadium, Amakom. We are live on Precise 105.9. Yenye. Precise 105.9. Yenye. Let me say a very good morning to you. Tuning in to 105.9 and watching us on the digital channel Owia TV, to be precise. I was here for the Omanhene Yaw Adu-Boakye. I've always been your man in the morning. I am ably flanked of the morning show by the controversial Koku Asante Benedict. And then the
oh my mister.
It
was so ya de controversial me first name.
Okay, Pacho, Bright, yeah, Benedict Koku Asante Boa.
Uji Benedict na ho adwuma de he na ya na
we
do two pope
Bright ya wo ma pepra
ese Romans of Penny Pope de we bie no no ma se no
you and I were not there.
Obi aka say also you and I were not there. Nipa na waka say no so you and I.
Me ne tetie for na kanya ya bo ama. You and I were not there.
They have me not have you yes have you. No yes we be put your what.
Davi, oh you no better have in Ghana than me ko have in America.
All right, let's get the headline. Ghana's draft resolution has been formally adopted by the United Nations General Assembly, marking a significant milestone in multilateral diplomacy. The Foreign Affairs Minister made a speech after. Now, the votes were counted. Now, my problem, abstention 52, no. One more, and a 52, no. One more, you omu frima omanto. Me and Sana omukasa omuso, omutu tiani wamwa. A whooping 123 nations voted in favor of the resolution. Na yentie okujeto abrakwa, okujeto ablakwa.
Of language, how it shapes our understanding of the past and our vision for the future. Today, through this resolution, the world has spoken with clarity and truth. We have affirmed that the trafficking of enslaved Africans and their racialized chattel enslavement is the gravest crime against humanity. A crime whose scale, structure, and enduring consequences demand recognition at the highest level of our shared global conscience, so that we can move forward in healing and in preventing such a crime from ever happening again. This resolution is not about apportioning blame across generations or nations. It is not about reopening old wounds. It is about ensuring that those wounds are neither forgotten nor denied. It is about creating space for truth, for education, and for a more honest global conversation that allows us to move forward together with greater understanding. History, as we know, is rarely simple. It is layered, it is complex, and at times uncomfortable. This resolution does not deny that complexity. It does not ignore the many dimensions of historical experience. Rather, it recognizes that even within complexity, there are moments.
Abo Okujeto Ablakwa, Foreign Affairs Minister, na just pleasantries are koso na mutu abani wiye 123 with 52 abstention. If 52 in the minimum say Europe for no ha. Utimi say Europe for no nyina. I am now to so much na me sana tuti ane de we yet to. Name at the editors forum. And a mema kasa. No more something to say. Wama traodin as in the name of solidarity, in the name of human face, in the name of peaceful, coherent habitation. Galamse for bit me the tio no mu jet you ku omo encrofosu. Na name also say omo catch the Ghana for nyina wa we galamse say we are better trained in weapons than you. And we will not tolerate armed attacks. Obi biara obe pejetio obe chiro so mo ye police soldier for near police for no nim tio to yentie wo mo.
We had a few brushes where one of my soldiers was shot. Luckily, it was in his thigh and it's recovering. But as I reiterated the last time, NIMOS will not stand by and watch people use weapons against us. We are better trained in the weapons. And therefore, I'll send a warning out there once again that anybody who does, NIMOS will deal with them ruthlessly. It is a problem that we are trying to address, but we have the right to self-defense. And let no Galamsea miss that. If you go to the field with weapon and you try to fire it, a lot more will be at you.
Somebody out to Janono. So would also ye galamse ni na wotu. I said we kai say baby out. Dr. Nyawo Tamakro kai. Say they are treating galamseyers in Ghana with kids gloves.
Yeah.
Say onipa wono elpeni sikenti. Otumima a whole community enyensuo nom. A whole country ensure kwachi. Sandy Panomo say yen treating with human face. He is more dangerous than an armed robber.
Yeah.
Armed robber they say you found near Macrobo and you win the but where they are friend killing me softly.
Yeah.
A bedroom maybe and actually one was said and saying, yeah, we won't quadra. Ubo ebe wono na nsawe na eto eswecha na kora na so na tarho na sandy power you know. Wasanya kukodra fatio se ono no ne udidi asie na a military officer wo se wo kwa ahwe no anya dai David o maka ne enso se yaji atom ye ta o machi ono no si firi ho wo se wo continue watwetio se se ne ekosi wo ekwenkwen friend say bono mantem ho no ma ahafo ho no ma
Collins down that
akoba se
Collins down that area
military officers here do move rakem that day me re ho menye Ghana
militarize
so omo military officers
military officers ma ye pacho
ewurade nyanko
omo ka kra di omo ko shem na omo bobo glasses ne ade
now must force out there to just say so what you want to say omo say excavators ne weapons or more G no ebia ehunu bia anya no kre or say everything is intact yentie opening no
Excavators. Every excavator seized by NIMOS is intact. And I reiterate that every excavator seized by NIMOS is intact. And accountability, the ministry will render account and the government will take a decision on what to do. But NIMOS has them safely at locations that when they call, I'll give you. The weapons too are intact. I've received a letter from the Small Arms Commission, and through the ministry, this weapon will be documented and disposed of. Next.
Can he be an say excavator? Ayra, if I will me why obviously excavators be any weapons be or match, they are intact. They will account for each of them. Eric Opoku na chasebe 3-4 days ni de tomato for the gunuso Ghana for bisan sem na one essential for be kasa was say obi say Ghana tomato be kwa atwea entesa no tomato shortage expected is assuring Ghanaians say and to super de ehon kwa atwe. Eric Opoku, Agric Minister.
Have a gap of approximately 300,000 metric tons to close before we can attain sufficiency in tomato production in Ghana. But we have to understand, we have to have a better appreciation of the challenge, the root cause of it, before we can prefer the appropriate solution to deal with it. While our counterparts in Burkina Faso are doing 18 tons per hectare, we are doing 8 tons. So what is the problem? The problem is the seed, the variety that is used in the production of tomatoes. And so we have decided, and this morning we had a meeting with Waki of Legon and some of the research institutions, and they have given us the assurance that they can give us a variety that can give us more than 20 tons per hectare. Yeah. More than 20 tons per hectare. So we are asking, we are committing them, we have made some resources available to ensure that we develop that variety to bring a lasting solution to the problem.
Never. And the Eric Opoku and Ode Semia Tuja. Or says here 250 boreholes are being drilled across the 5 northern regions for irrigation. 500 hectares at the tunnel irrigation system, 100 hectares at Akumadan have been secured for immediate tomato cultivation. Said the Beya, Enkobas, Burkina Faso, Maebino. I've seen 10.
In the 5 northern regions, we are drilling 250 boreholes. 250 boreholes to provide irrigation for the production of vegetables, especially tomatoes. Then this morning, we have also done some arrangements. We spoke to management of the tunnel irrigation system. And the tunnel irrigation system has been fully refurbished. As we speak, it is making available 2,400 hectares of land. But because the farmers were not getting buyers for their tomatoes, they shifted from the production of tomatoes to the production of rice. So we spoke to them this morning, and they have agreed to make available 500 hectares for the cultivation of tomatoes immediately. In fact, they requested for a buyer, the assurance that they can.
And some because we UK, with respect to education, are buying sponsored education, which is scholarship. Now, I told you, I say, Ghana are buying at the UK universities a cat 32 million pounds. One hour go school or I was here to a buying a cotia. No mutimico school. No, a cat that way 32 million pounds. And the Ama Deputy High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Okase, a halt a lot of students, no education. Yentino.
It's all about money. You get money to pay the arrears that we owe the schools way back from 2020 to now. So if we are able to clear, I don't think any of them will find themselves in that kind of situation anymore. We are doing what we can as a commission to get money to clear those debts. Yeah. And I think you know about how much we owe the schools. I mean, it's like a whole ministry's budget. We're talking about £32 million. That is a lot. But we are trying just to make sure we clear those debts so that the children can go home. Because of that, I think since 2025, we've not been able to give any scholarship into this country. Because no school will accept you if you owe others. So we will do everything that we can to make sure this particular program is fulfilled.
Again, you're welcome. Kwaku.
Oman.
And some go on energy minister so say you na I say chinchina one fuel levy no one Ghana fuel levy no or say you're careful. On says see ye free hono Ghana for we should tread cautiously. I say boy ye afi yes ye no ma
web market
o ma kwako yi na afi o mu ko yi wi a na afi nsem bibiri asaba yes yan na to say you're careful. Asante ma mentio.
Oma me de oya minister na ka ho asa na me hwe currently war no ayekoso Iran na enu ana ese kakra Donald Trump SCC de o asumdwie no omo mienu nsie akunya na mompe
omo nyu asumdwie boa
United US for aja to mafe Iran force yampene
omo so omo anunu omo ho asere
omo so omo mpene na ntokwa no afi omo they are ready to defend themselves. Enu na US for chire ma omo 7 omo recruit and I say nipa 7,000 military officers they are going on grounds. As omo take over the air navy nti afi no nya ground troops no be take over nipa 7,000. Na enye easy. Usi form dey a ntokwa dey obotima kunu wiem na usi asase no so a
mo try.
Obia nim dey be sie.
Na Vietnam
no na omampanyin say he is waiting for just or cause a gas and plastic gas of in Iran. But Tehran and I say Iran for no they almost say they are ready to defend it. But Iran for the US for 15 say conditions ma almost say omuni so and Iran for so be say siko. Way I mean who is I say inner circle the omoye gentle events negotiate but one bad one tena na so bia be no when amendment ase no
and so eno dey friend diplomacy
say abon ekukomu di ase nkita ho no koso because enu an ankasa there were no missile bia so man bia to ye ntina there was
na Donald Trump first lady ni kasa ye
ena ade ba ko say flight to cry I want say almost me this ye Qatar ne UAE inside man 3 countries pe no every day flight at sea one quiet airport several countries means 3,000 flight 3,000 but for the few weeks no in CBM flight a problem kasi apparently oh my there's hope inside they say no I say Iran you for no tiase na asumdwe ba
Iran
because I think the harm is really caused because American for no omugiri say ntokoma kokko during the last 2 weeks no or how much they bring rank one because omo repair the damage it could cost more than $10 billion so and you know where the and I ran for whatever almost 1,000 say almost last year say ya na American for no number transkasa I said there's mistrust amuji tu mu krase bibia ntwa nanka asumdwimra omo ni te ya na and last year some total bombs ni bi missiles ni bi because man there's hope because asumdwe ba say oil no say nam esa costo nura awia no ama it's trading beyond a little over $100 per barrel until no Donald Trump ni omo ntwa so na asumdwimra na say the biasi ko no ano odin the whole world enura kra there omo kirema okọ certain China Manila Philippines for ne China so no come on can buy oil no crisis no buy na fe obi anya bi nto no they are ready to
negotiate
and you know say they consider mama there their course we nura United Nations no it's victory for Africans or more victims of this slave trade, you know, and the Omaja to me is one of the greatest crimes against humanity. What next? Reparation, you know. What are we expecting?
No, but it's a step.
Oh yes, and America say it's a good step. Mama, I'm Africa. And then the vote you put there. It is expected. Israel, Argentina, US. Me Argentina first stance and I'm a person investigate by me the main reason. By Israel they would never vote for Ghana.
And their reason is what?
The reason is as in 1998, 29th March 1998, no. Palestine, person now,
yeah.
sovereign country. To also the UN say, yeah.
Na Ghana kotu.
And Ghana to say, I am pa and kwa some there, yeah, and I'm saying, Quantum, or maybe inform maybe inqua. And the Israel for who say, I say, yeah, support to
support to the
and the free honor. And I say, and then maybe call you
be on between.
And no, because last UN meeting, Mama and Costa Rica catch and center course between Palestine and no more who is there. And the
non-aligned movement.
And the US points they say, they don't want to TI and you say, what say? Okay, into kind of event slave trade course. Yani and the yes we say, yeah, be fighting for this reparation. What is the evidence? At the time and now slave trade because there was no law. Be I know was there will be consumer or say a man
so to them no, any law the law does not take effect in retrospect.
And you know say I say yeah now mama say reparation what did we suffer? How bad na yeah
because US benefited so much.
And say no I know the main reason on but one day these are some of the legal.
The bottom line is now African Americans go and Caribbeans no.
Yeah,
don't now free hand and to know or joining sika because the reparation no the next thing is compensation and the because you made the
say Russia no otoma
or Russia they said
otoma they was say Ghana and for that matter Africa am say reparations or more be negotiating more betima
Russia will never vote in tandem with a US and Israel Debbie. Yaw say reason cry oba kujina left US call right only reason call left
but I know I never consider me manage my kujeta black
okujeta
at the UN where press conference now the national media address it was a great day for him as an individual.
The young man is really growing
and ne supporter or true and now he was going around the whole world to campaign for good but a minor man to cry on the point and say there were the timing for the campaigns I said maybe as for now so if the campaign had gone further
Europe for understand say
Europe will be to my France stay out and then other countries Cyprus stay out but ultimately say more other countries to my UK crowd 2 days ago there was an issue in Parliament House of Commons say get no leader okacho say I was say executive na wakoto abo the koto because almost support to say yankoto yes Emma UK na say executive no wan koto yes how would they know near na manam ti no now they want
declare the stance
person who stance no ansa no mako so opposition says that
mama nti osugaka
China nom ne ade nyina no voted in favor of Africa ne ade odidie ho so China didie ho Japan for so abstaining from voting no ne ade but akota ni nyina me de me busa ene say after we no ede no mo ba be ye de amaye just chow pano ana say sika no eba no sika no so eba as compensation akonta ye de bre Africa say West African countries in ye de bre ana say baby a black man country bia black man wosu bia no ye kwa koche ya fon ko bia onko jibi
say cause Seychelles near here Seychelles there were slaves that were to you Ghana we have probably our documentation
Omaya yamfa odisi
anko no kwa jibi say wo kudi na ntini enko
bi akoto no ye de ne disi eduro no na bia crayon no na asa ayenti antrato ha
slave trade no transatlantic slave trade no kwan a faso ensio baby ano monam enkura yeso anipa ni nyina documented enti se Togo ye fa bi wo ha Togo fonim Ghana ye fa bi wo ha Nigeria ye fa bi wo ha obu onu ma ode ne ho agim kura so ni krom ya amfa ba kokora nko but because or you're connected to the black race solidarity
but I say in all this ni nyina no ye call J all black continent no anybody black bia no I say ye rally omu nyina say they should come support this agenda ya na Ghana e pushing nti say ko ete say afi yakwa ya de ne mfa so oba na afi ne yekofa book ne pen aba betena won say wo no wo dia baby wo dia baby ne dia akota ebe ha
de bi ho no ma wo ye dan ya wo ye supporter
me wa hai asi pro wa kakra de
me wa hai te say me team Barcelona me twa da bi nkosia Pedri baby ada my only joy is Barcelona ashe me bossy o de me chon Tia Newcastle show almost 70
adabi unam Spain ya bia obesia bia
because Spain no na me wo Madrid eti me call stadium now come a picture no
yes
you said that ko jina wo twa me twa nya na ahye me
no mu na utrim
but that is the place I find myself omo office kese bi na me jina ho na me ni choice me twa sa de beto as a Mickey man fans couple
yes
couple also will be do at Mickey also person Mickey hey wo friend say
tikese
okay what you
Mickey there ye nyina agitum
ti dey efe kakra
Mickey ti unso wo chembe ho bi ha butu so na ha ye say
are ba feel bia why
Mickey ti there
we Owia
o tre TV ni so etimi yi ne ho unso akota Ose ekwana Mickey ti kwati Mickey TV ne so far
Owia good morning
na the body grab my
Ethiopia
Odun kwa ni efe ne tire e was the house etire no aje so yes o ka tire na Mickey aje so
Mickey mi ni o
ba akota saa de we so unim sa akofa ntokwa ba Meka sa akofa ntokwa ba akwa say Chima menchine mentime wase aba between MPP and NDC. MPP for no fee say this idea we ya ene emfaso aba so ene yakwa kodi atum no eye omo pen so
ene omo
shase
for reparation.
Yes, but I say enkomo na eko nyina ko ete say
fans ne your mama
okuje to ba ye na
as o maye bibie
omo ko yifa ba ene ne yente ho asem grada ene MPP for na starting
social media so ba
agbodaja se gito
your foreign affairs minister Ayokobotwe
omakofa mampeni na nado danko akufod mampeni da na nado danko akufod ni video bia na UN General Assembly meeting
o make
case for sa ade uheni ade
na nyo omo anom se government MPP Edru maybe ne say I send me banner about your mom say government is continuing. That is why you have come to continue.
Yes.
Now when they were continuing no there. Otokujo toma fans kaka.
Yes, o man na
acknowledge Ayokobotwe Ejuma one deputy minister Amprechum Ejuma mo ye na at this on the acknowledge you kaka on the onti omo to kaka ekujeto we yen say she let's acknowledge madam ni Ade kakra
and no there it was all Ghana video na
changing, and it is time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Granted, the current generations are not the ones that engaged in the slave trade, but that grand inhuman enterprise was state-sponsored and deliberate, and its benefits are clearly interwoven with the present-day economic architecture of the nations that designed and executed it. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade. No amount of money will ever make up for the horrors, but it would make the point that evil was perpetrated, that millions of productive Africans were snatched from the embrace of our continent and put to work in the Americas and the Caribbean without compensation for their labor. If there are any hesitation,
UN General Assembly meeting.
Oh, but Nana made a solid statement.
Yes.
Say Sikas send crying to me. Name says he can also ever make a statement.
Yes.
Because some of will be no use soon no amount of compensation. So definitely they did something about it. And they started it. The only thing I say, Okujatoi, Oman fans kakra. Ebrebi MPP NDC for Pokuasi, almost started a Muslim commandum. Na do na si Pokuasi.
But NDC so started yet.
And so but normal kind of
people so uncredited Mampeni Jo Mama. It is a ne.
Eti ada na musumo be ba credit.
Bibia se no so aba be wie no wie ni ya.
Your problem psesia na me na me hyase ma credit kakra. When one eti ba ko ba o se na me wie no ma credit de na me nye kra. Maybe no ma credit de me nye. As if say yo mu botom sika. It's so annoying.
Na nye na akotama agenda 111 hospitals yi.
No ma me agenda 111 hospitals there.
Akaka hui.
Say wo mu jagu ho no ma. It's so inimical to the nation.
Oh yes.
I don't understand why a project like funding was a problem. Now, to what extent can you do? Can you go say at least you don't do 111? It was ambitious, but you can do it in phases. Ebia, miensa and name
but akota gold sika yenya de betima ye nyina bomu.
Ya David.
Now the
Ghana goes
10 billion.
Now the 1 billion. And I to force you to say 80% of budget. They say I also borrow over 7 billion or the abitua or market. Now when my summer TUC for the car, TUC for the say what you do say betray a car was ukuburu. And Kaso borrow betray a year. Kaso borrow for expenditure.
Yes.
Don't say hospital we say naka. And no amu yek bibi kakra bi na hospital ayo prisoner. Nurse fo gufie.
Senko anaka.
Nurse fo gufie.
Omaya ya ton gold enya 10 billion, ya ton gold enya be $6 billion. Akota yeti ya ni akwaje 3 billion no kwa ye pon ma ye sope no. Ye bo se o. Se yeti ma ton gold enya $6 billion that demo a. Akota it should change Ghana infrastructure ni ade within 6 months 1 year o. Akota omaya ye was $6 billion that them.
Now the politics is just too much.
Me dey say ya bibisa. Se sika dey.
No, but me no say hey, politics no you too much.
Ade san yen kania. Wait, ade naka.
Auntie, ada way si wonu mo ni sa niema ya
o mo di ade no mo di BCC we. They are keka
bebre wonu ma say abai ni so ma nani akoho a sika kakra bi betima wie.
Yes.
But the politics. Ma Omanhene Jo Mama wie sesia. The next minute na MPP for we finished Oba be twan trokra
80%.
KJT say who go into the books na NDC we almost 60-70%. About 30% in the chedi who say osesi be ne be. But ultimately nyim free Jo Mama say.
Any project?
Say
also da ye crash for be yes ade no
airport and Nana Prempe the airport.
The first international airport.
Upe arrangement ni sika no ne niema bebri wono ma Omanhene Jo Mama e ne ho bom. Irojal project Omanhene Kufo wa mie Arab Spring by Irojal project CZ. It was NDC who went for contract omode ba wie Irojal project ni bio. And so but enye was bottom sika
na kotauza asema okay Arab Spring asema okan ase Ghana no minim say yebonsam bia wote Ghana so a Ghana statesi ye ba be bibia na bibia si owiase na de ye de nipa ye kosu kire ne se bia omo aye no na ne ho aka wose be nya moa mu bio wo de Arab Spring ne de ekofa Eurojet de manema e de ebaye. There's another project na Ghana eba beye no so no bibi bebo mu wansam.
Now
Libya Muammar Gaddafi race course and STS Korea bibi ko see na economy so
it can survive the shocks.
And nothing na was wunya enough shocks
no ba it can survive
external shock kitwa bi na adwiragu
Ghana yes
shock ye infanye
Ghana no building ye ho
Ghana yes akra bi a wo
Ghana yetimi mbodi adawo
won kana na atiato
Ghana no agota yetimi mbodi ebianse finance minister ka che say ye kobobosia na ye betua Ghanaian workers a omo ye abedimaka aye num go se kese o
it's a shame
Ghana na yetimi mbodi ada
yetimi nhwe ye ho
yetimi workers Ghanaian worker na why ye adwuma wo Owia TV
80%.
So Owia TV
equal to emolument and expenditure and compensation. Sika ye die nkwa about 80%.
Yeah.
Now go him a one more retire almost salary ni ade no. Who is 80% now? One more chunk of money no. Esu charge akatia fo ni nyina.
90%. Yeah na ye mole fo ni ade ye wo form no.
One more retire almost salary on Ghana ha no ya.
10-20% fo na ye so retire on their salary.
They say one more retire almost salary. So omo ye be 100 a. Omo sika dosso chen 10,000. Na
kweta wo hu ade bi so aba na say o younger generation na or rise through a certain status e wa ban adwuma mu a. Na obedru sa status na obe retire within a salary na or say make voluntary retirement.
And aka so say.
Na okosa voluntary retirement no. No koso e gise sika no abro tifie wu.
Ana o ye ni business.
Na o ye ni business. Ana say bia wa call law. No o ye lawyer.
It's so unfair.
Say sika no.
Say oko voluntary aban say to na ka bosome.
Na ka na oko voluntary so retire on salary.
You retire on your salary.
Ade voluntary retirement in ka ho.
In your retirement.
Retirement
5 years.
I know I retire. Say
you work amount.
You work amount.
O free so krama office or ye wo aban.
So free so no go yeah another employment. Do no go aboa.
No your employment I would say to na ka bosome say we.
On your allowances ba retire on say there are certain institutions, there are certain work aban mu a omu koja
omu rise
omu sa level na high court judges, appeals court, supreme court, any electoral commissioners, certain police for rank B, omu retire omu salary, prisons, even civil service, baby omu retire omu salary. Me this retirement on salary na say da.
Retire.
Nipa no wasomo man no ye tua ne ka o kwagina ho me a ye man compensation bi no fanko hwe Bank of Ghana governors egu onyira da certain CEOs of certain institutions o kotra fie bosome so a na woni
ya fa na adwuma
woni bi asie or retire salary na the any adjustment e kano ni adjusting it.
Obi onya adwuma.
Wa nya adwuma wa kotena fie. High court judge wa na home na as a high court judge no. Say no your man 20,000 a month. Bosome no
5% na abande ka ho na wa koba no.
Bosome no 20 abande 9% ka wa dey account no dey
wonya adwuma no.
Wonya adwuma.
Na bede abanye security man for.
Eno ni adie zesia no.
Papa Professor JH ho ahwan no kwai ni commission sa papa na adwuma no ye ni pa de so.
Say compensation and emoluments no. It takes a chunk of our money. Adena, I brighto aye adwuma age na home. O fie. Yenye pension man no na bosome pension for. Na o mo je pension dey e che mo.
O man,
teacher ni no kira de no teacher ni no. No dey man pension ke to bi no.
My police dey. Omo be captain on.
Captain.
Police ni
abaya teacher for nyina je captain.
Run through all the security agencies.
And now police say police ni betimi akofi am be bia 3 billion na say bia 2 billion. Why here no awie no. Bosumi bia na aban
asa man 2,000 depending on the salary
na your two ayimu a na dey man e ni pay na police for.
Enya police now the police.
And I say you mom senior
ya wa captain first no na cassette ni cover obi a and omo de ayi sa tier 2 ni bae and omo yi a lot of the civil service ni ayi for no teacher for ni nurse for omo go yi ni nyina free mu but the military ni security agencies ni omo ampre eti omo da soji captain na first teacher ni ko ahomegye na oje captain ya otumeji 2 billion That 2 billion lamp sam no. Obu akwa no de wie ni fie. Obu an no de starting business no me ade. And na kwa na kwa tie tu. Ya tie tu. Right oh,
legend.
What's the latest in sports?
The big game Brazil and France.
Friendly.
About 8 p.m.
And big game.
My teacher is Senegal for no say omode asana kopie cars.
Oh, omode akokaf, yeah.
I won fan ko na
cars for omode pay ebe ya adwuma.
Omode pay ya no so dey. I am pass France Morocco captain or rejecting. Why ya dear papa? Now when was anwia so agu Hakim say ne ma me catch and say
Ashraf Hakim. Okay.
And on officially Waba announced say they were beaten through and through.
Oh, yes.
They had opportunity.
Omanhene
cap no a enya fe na omo ba be kwa kwaje boardroom cap.
Morocco for no say omo afe no. Ese omo nye born na e boy no mo kan wasem. Suban ya Senegal for danedi.
Basa. Omo na be tell Senegal suban. Enyo masemo. Sa brana esi no. And then was a cap a declare Morocco. Mama ya bobo na wi na wakoshe waje cap na wi a. You are coming to tell us. And him go say some way. Emre bia no take retrospective effect.
Cast when be take decision.
Oh na cast I'm trusting cast.
Emro de here can so.
Now I'm trusting cast. We were small cast here.
Yes. Omutie yen. No mo ye mistake.
Ah, no.
Uni paso.
Mini pa de cap na ko je ya so.
Why there?
Oh yeah, Juma Papa. Say there any that swaba.
Training. Oh yeah, day.
Training na
kwani. Oh yeah, training is different from match.
Me we team say training na way no.
O to for why training.
Ronaldo kwabo be che no.
Ade.
Ronaldo shot the say check.
Enra was an hade bi. Reason the guy or form kakra. Or form men kakra because they were team gina ho as a o gina ho yes aerobics no this
no.
And the actual idea no say.
The way artist gidi na ba no.
Yes, o makoche no ade bi o so on fan hye ne nsam fan chechecheche shot. I say America fo bi akoche na.
Yenye.
Hey, wo gi a o ma ye na duro.
Hey.
You.
Wala jano do we ba na o keeper.
1 point in.
Let's say we 1 point in.
The when you no. I'm not to on aba no. Any pampe keeper asemu.
Hey, penasem mona.
O Ronaldo obabo shot fia we am obe yon.
O Ronaldo obo shot. Na Ronaldo na won dey we ya. On ka Vinicius no mo ne. Mbappe num bi num ane abrante ya o Kelly boy. Bayern Munich boy you friend say. France ni Olise mu bobo la o de fa Ronaldo
but Ronaldo mu de ye na mo janse na so e be sia ne ntem
Benjamin Asare on ye keep
wa bra wonyini
me jini di bruta ya also obi on ma abrabo mu no ni ti ye o ena nyanko o
su be wu na be so ho
owo po num kranti ball le ma
ti mo ma ja tu se obewu te so
owu akoy
David akuta se ogina po
asante na kan nyam nam kai
Benjamin Asare
is our number 1 goalkeeper wa boy de cover
cap keeper ya wa record as a clean sheet as in recent times.
Now South Africa keeper no ultimate ball bapo atisigi shot ba was who
oh my me see clean sheet that's what keep people out
why
Benjamin Asare
oba na say why are you
say ti na friend papa yi
now so papa you dey na friend papa say boy grandpa me go baba say papa can't say
no obi abi shagana na ndem system. Was the first na you could say Germany and MCA but
say our team bia be shagana me ne ya adwene
Germany for say
why na gaje
Kurt
na agoda no expect something
bring back the love
why love
bring back the love
what a solid team
Ghana
what a solid team
ana munye ni ana
na akota
this World Cup you be koya ni say
kudusu eni da no so so okotwitwi na go pray
kudusu ni ho ya obeba asati o mama
obeka practice more semenyo
eti UK fund o mo fa o mo
eti boys yo man for mama
o mo fa o
edi ketia ne ho
a mo me enfe ade enkobo
leja mo from
o me fucking se me ya ma ya say ya afedi o jaga say ya frewa o beba
akuta ye di omo ye do no ko akra ka wan ke be boy you
da bi nya de o mbetwene because boys no so abre striker ne de
akuta edi ketia
na sa boys no ayi ba ko ne say enketia ne say
edi ketia any house no enya bad
but almost so ye fra almost so mumfi ye afeni ye cover cap there but as ayi bi kwasi nyantashi Kevin Prince Martin
we say yeah titi hey see nya akonya ene kopi mu amno ne
nye bobo
ana ye wo na bia ye radio adwuma wo dey ase ana bia radio Ghana ha ese emra ana BBC se emra kedia
na mpacho BBC no wo frɛ yet it is wo be frɛ wo frɛ
Oh, legend.
Dabio Enketiano also. Oh, Aquenya. Babola Uboyina. That time that boy was so playing so well Asra. That boy Bobo Asra.
Nansea number acquire Ghanaian passport so be kaya about 2-3 years ago. And at this boy so be Ghanaian passport.
Kevin Prince. Now our Aquenya say Germany beat me afano. No form papa.
But Obama my KP Boateng so de no so no who say Germany de na de ka ko nemfa no. Ene mo de na de beto Ghana so. Obebo nti wenum so so
de masam ye tiawa.
Obebo.
So betimi ama na omra. Omo ma so omtra ho ye de beko.
Dey say ye na say from biom.
Samenyo obebo kakra na Man City no obebo.
Na
o munya de omchere ye kra ye mpe
betima se go no.
Samenyo.
Ono nko betima se go.
Na ye be pass ya ma no. They be do hobo hu.
Legend.
Abusian for Obama your sports.
I will check the how be abekwa.
Wow. Say I win him ade.
Benjamin Sare no na.
Obe trans say ya enkomodan ye de da. Afi wo sori akwa. No de na 8 o'clock. What would you hear? Ye bon komo na any do. Afi trans ya. No wakai say o 30 minutes no de na 8. I'm not here. Right oh, Eddie Jumede no to so high.